All right, hello, my fellow investigators. We're back once again playing Eldritch Horror, and I thank you for coming to join us to watch us lose. I'm Rob, and I'm here with my friends Eric.
Hello, I am Eric,
and
I'm
our
here
friend
with my friend
Len.
Rob.
Heyo, Rob.
And our special guest this week, Laura. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
I introduced Laura to Eldritch Horror on Tabletop Simulator some time ago. I take it you enjoyed it enough that you've chosen to come and sit through it again.
Fight the fish people, man. Fight the fish people.
I don't know if we have fish people, because this week we are going up against Shub-Niggurath, the black goat of the wood of the mother of the thousand young. This is an interesting character because Lovecraft, to my understanding, never really wrote anything about her. He just used the name a few times, and then other writers took it and ran.
I didn't even know it was a she.
Well,
It does say she. I never knew that.
It does, and in American culture, if you don't have the eyelashes on the cartoon, you can't tell if it's male or female. So, what is going on in this game? So we're trying to defeat Shub-Niggurath, who starts us off at 13 Doom all the way over here. So that's a fair amount of time to get this to happen. We have to get through 3 of these mysteries. The first one is Rituals in the Wild. Bonfires roar in the wildest corners of the planet as the cult of the Black Goat perform their bestial rituals. The cultists howl to Shub-Niggurath to let loose her children upon the earth. When the card enters play, place 1 Eldritch token on each of the following wilderness spaces: 4, 10, 21, and Tunguska. So we already have those set out, I hope, in the right spaces: 4, 10, and 21 down here in Australia. As an encounter, an investigator on a space containing an Eldritch token may attempt to determine the ritual's purpose. Test observation. If he passes, he may spend 2 clues to place that Eldritch token on this card. At the end of the Mythos Phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to half the number of players, solve this mystery and discard all Eldritch tokens from the game board. So, all we have to do is for 2 of us with a decent observation to get 2 clues, go out into a specific wilderness space, and spend those clues, right? Am I missing anything else?
Oh, that's hard.
It's hard-ish. However, let's talk real briefly about some of our special abilities. Hey, Eric, why don't you go first and tell us about Trish?
Okay, Trish. So one of her abilities is if an investigator on your space spends a clue to roll a die, he may roll up to 2 more dice. And we can get to the other later. Fine. The other ability is action. If you do not have a clue, gain a clue. So Trish can generate clues.
So Trish can generate clues. She also starts in central Russia on Space 16, which is next to Tunguska, which coincidentally has both a clue and an Eldritch token on it. So Trish is almost there for one of it. Len, who are you playing?
I'm playing the incomparable Lola Hayes, the glory hound of the group. Do you want me to get into what she does?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
just real brief.
Yeah, as an action, I can spend improvement tokens. Those are the +1 thingies down at the bottom. If I have them, I can basically spend them and improve a different skill of my choice. And then once per round, an investigator on my space, including me, may roll an additional die when resolving a test.
Right. And remember, you have your special character
Method
reward,
acting.
method acting.
Yes. So when I take that action to improve the skill, I get get another action. So it's basically a free action to do,
All right.
which is helpful.
So, Laura, we've set you up to play Tommy Muldoon, who absolutely is not a train wreck waiting to happen. I promise you.
Well, I mean, I noticed that I have the same physical attributes like strength and hit points as Trish, so I'm feeling a little insecure about myself as a motorcycle ride man.
I had not. Is that for real? That is for real. No, you got him flip-flopped. You have 7 health and 5 sanity. Lola has 5 health and 7 sanity.
No,
Yeah, but
it's
she's got
Trish.
3 strength. Like, she's, you
Talking
know.
about Trish, not Lola.
Oh. Oh, but
Trish.
Trish is a spy.
Trish,
Should Tommy have the +1 to will?
Yeah.
From what?
But if you look at the back of his card, he starts
Oh,
with
that's his-
1 carbine rifle asset and improves will.
Oh, fancy.
And I
All right.
think Lola gets to start with 1 improvement as well, doesn't she?
Oh, she does. Okay.
All right.
by the way, Laura, the personnel set that we have right now is not entirely intentional. The way this game plays, we are going through all the old ones, one game after another. Anytime an investigator dies, they are permanently removed from play. So, what we have here is sort of a random assortment of people who were brought onto the board as other people died. And some of these people we brought onto the board specifically because we thought we were going to lose the game, and we were saying, well, who can we go with losing? And so it is a strange assortment and not optimized. You will notice that, for example, when it comes to lore, we are all horrible. So this is not a smart way to play a game. This is just how it ended up. So yes, there is
I like
a
the
lot
way
of
you said going
duplication.
through the old ones. That was a very on-point pun. I enjoyed it very much.
So why don't you go ahead and read what Mikey's special ability is, his action.
Tommy.
Tommy?
You missed
So-
Mikey.
So Tommy is the rookie cop. He gets to move monsters around. He moves 1 monster of my choice with toughness 3 or less from an adjacent space to my space, presumably so that I can better fight said monster.
Yep.
And during the encounter phase, other investigators on my space may choose an encounter as if there are no monsters on that space, because I am just that much of a badass protector.
Exactly. And now you're starting with 3 special cards. 1 is your composed talent. Why don't you read that off? Do you see it?
Yes. All right. So when resolving a test, if I don't roll any 1s, I may re-roll all of my dice. So when I fail a test, I flip this card and presumably something else happens.
Yep. And you start out with a rifle.
Cool.
And that's
Plus
gonna get-
5 strength during any combat encounter. Okay, that makes me feel a little better that,
Yeah.
that I'm not. Okay.
So in this version, we're also playing with these personal stories. Tommy's personal story is all about fighting monsters. When you defeat a non-epic monster during a combat encounter, you're going to place this on the card, and if the toughness of the monsters on this card is 10 or greater, you're going to discard this card and gain the Valiant Protector reward, which I'm sure is something interesting. However, if another investigator is defeated or devoured before you do that, discard this card and gain the not good enough consequence. So Tommy sat through an entire game, and there just weren't a lot of monsters on board, but that also meant that we weren't in a lot of danger of being defeated. But so if you're able, so not only is your role in general to go hunt down monsters, but that's going to give you a nice little benefit if you can get enough of them. So I'm playing Wilson Richards, who was one of those throwaways that I thought was going to lose, but as I played him a bit, I've kind of enjoyed him. His action is to gain an asset of my choice with a value of 1 from the reserve, or discard a card from the reserve and perform 1 additional action. When you or another investigator in your space spends a focus to re-roll a die, that investigator may re-roll up to 2 dice instead. I'm starting out with a blunderbuss, which gives me a +2 strength in a combat, but each 6 I roll counts as 2. Each one negates 1 success. I'm studious, which will help me improve skills. And I've gotten my reward from my story card, which says when you perform a focus action, gain 1 resource. Once per round, when you spend a focus, gain 1 focus. So, that's who we are. We've gone over the first of 3 mysteries that we have to solve in order to defeat Shub-Niggurath. We also are playing with a prelude card, which I don't think has much of a downside. It's focus training. You wonder what it will all come to in the end, even as you wipe the sweat from your brow, whether you will be able to rise above the challenges that lie before you. The nature of the task is at hand, after all, not one you would associate with a long life expectancy. Purging the negative thoughts from your subconscious, you return with renewed vigor to your training. You can do it, you tell yourself. You were meant to fill this role. You are a lighthouse in the darkness. During this game, if an asset would be placed on a space of the reserve, the active investigator may place 1 random talent condition from the deck face up on that space instead. As part of an acquire assets action, an investigator may spend 1 success and 1 focus to gain 1 talent condition from the reserve. There is no limit to the number of talent conditions an investigator can gain during an acquire assets action.
Damn.
Yeah, so we can hopefully buy up a fair amount of talents to help us through this.
I guess the negative is that you're actually burning actions to get a focus just to burn on this.
Right.
But that's still not too shabby.
Right. Other things we need to know about is Shub-Niggurath herself. Her cultists have a reckoning effect where we spawn a goat spawn monster or 1 dark young monster on this space. Then, if you spawn a monster, discard this cultist. So during reckoning effects, the cultists are going to transform into monsters. Also, Shub-Niggurath is going to spawn 1 monster on a random space. Then if there are 10 or more monsters on the game board, advance Doom by 2. This is where our rookie cop is going to come in particularly useful, because we've got to keep the monsters down on this game.
I eat monsters for breakfast.
We've got to get clues off of the board, such as the ones up here in, I have no idea where that would be. We've got one in Canada. Or I'm sorry, we're looking at clues. So those are the 2 clues that we're starting with. We need to get clues and get to these elder locations. Did I pull out a starting gate? Did I miss that? Oh.
Oh, it's up top.
It's up top. So we've got a Hound of Tindalos on a red gate in a very inconvenient position. I've got a cat who desperately wants my attention. Any thoughts on what we need to do as we start this game?
Not really. I mean, I'm going to try to get this clue. I wonder if I can meet up with Trish after. Are you going to handle Tunguska on your own, pretty much?
That was the plan, and then I was going to start heading over to the next
All right.
spot.
Well, but you're not going to be able to get that second clue. Okay. So should I leave that one above Tokyo for you then?
I think it makes more sense to get it and then hope you can acquire another one as you go to Australia or something. But I don't know.
All right, I'll do that, and then actually, what's this Hound of Tindalos look like up top? Because I may stay in Tokyo for a turn and try to put some damage on it, because that thing is going to go after him.
So it's not nothing. It's got 3 toughness, does 2 horror, and 3 damage. And it's going to go hunting. On a reckoning, it's going to move this monster to the nearest space containing an investigator. Then an investigator on that space immediately encounters it.
So
which at the moment is me.
Yeah, and I may try to hit it remotely from Tokyo, and that way at least weaken it. So that way if it does attack one of you guys... So that's what sucks. It goes directly, right? It doesn't just hop around. It goes to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to have to buff up for a bit.
It's a smart strategy. One I fully endorse.
All right, so I'm going to take the lead investigator. I'm going to go first. On our turns, we get 2 actions. We have a quick reference. Oh, this is going to be over here if it helps to see what those actions are. And what I'm going to do this turn is first prepare to travel and take a train ticket. Then I'm going to move, and so I move 1 leg of my movement for free, and then I'm going to spend that train ticket to continue on the train line and get myself to San Francisco in the hopes of improving my observation. And so that is my turn. Eric, you're up.
So, I'm faced with a question. Do I hang out for a round and fuck, or do I go directly for the mystery? I think I go directly mystery. I think the faster we get that out of the way, the better.
So I will point out that I think a part of a reason that I'm now perceiving Lola as a glory hound is because that's a strategy that Len does in fact endorse of taking that turn to buff up. Things aren't out of control or anything, and I think that it could help us later in the game. I'm just going to throw that out there. It is, of course, entirely up to you how you take your turn.
Rob, I'm going to ask you to not alpha game this time.
But fine, let's
be selfish. Get some
this
stuff
could
because
be a waste.
You know what?
It's so
This
hard to
one
do later.
turn may help all throughout the game if you get something that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you could end up screwing up
so
and,
I'm gonna
and
focus
losing everything.
First out. Okay, so I have taken your advice to selfish. I will focus because I got my personal story. Went through gain plus X to all skills, where X is the number of focuses you have. So that gives me +1 on all skills. And then I think I am just... See, I would like to spend about 7 rounds here buffing up, but I guess that would be too much. Yeah. So then I am going to go shopping and see if I can get some good stuff here with 4 dice, because I get plus.
So when you're in a city without a monster, you can take an acquire assets action. He's going to roll his influence, which starts at a 3, +1 for his rugged or his breaking the limits card. Go ahead.
Okay, let's see what you can do here.
2 successes.
Okay, 2. That's enough, because what I was looking at is the training instrument. When you gain this card, immediately improve one skill of your choice and gain a talent addition, which seemed really useful to me. There are, So I'll get that,
Yep.
and I just discard it in the trash here, right? Okay. So improve one skill. I'm going to improve will. I would also like to improve lore. Will is more important to all the monsters we're going to be fighting. So I'm going to improve will, and then talents are
They're the big stack.
somewhere.
Second row. Yeah.
This one. Okay. I'm gonna shuffle 3 times and then take what I get. 1, 2,
It's not a talent.
3. It's not a talent, so I'll do one more time. Elusive. That's
Now,
that's
you have a
alright,
choice
fine.
to make. Do you want to restock, or do you want to add a talent onto the board?
I would have to spend a focus, right?
No. In order
Yes.
to buy it later, that's when you would
No,
spend the
buy it
focus.
later. Right.
Does anyone have a talent, or do we hope that we'll get some big guns out here? I think right now I'm just gonna
All right.
restock with normal stuff. Hoping we get something.
That's fine.
Does that make sense?
That does not look big.
Not very big.
Really-
But you know
Oh,
what?
that's not. No,
That's
take
underrated.
that back.
When you
Take
perform
that
a
back.
rest action, spawn a clue. That's not terrible.
That's not horrible, and it's cheap. So
All right.
maybe
So that
someone wants
was
that.
Eric's 2 actions with Trish, bringing us to Lola. What are you
Okay,
going to do,
so
Len?
I gave Rob.
Lola is going to. She's going to look to spend, so she's going to take a resource, and then I'm going to acquire assets with 5 dice. And watch how even with 5 dice, I'm still going to end up going into debt to get the things that I want.
So a resource lets you gain
Oh
a
my
success
God.
on an acquire assets roll or heal up a little bit better.
All right. So I would like the astute researcher. That's going to end up giving me a clue. So I'll need 2 task unique assets if someone can grab one. And I will also take the personal assistant because that will help me get stuff later. And I'm definitely going into debt for those. Resource
So
plus my 1 success. I'm spending a total of 4. I'm going into debt to make it 4. And my researcher gives me 2 tasks, one of which I discard, and whenever I discard a task, I get a clue. So that'll give me one of the clues.
all right, you got an interesting choice to make with these tasks because
Oh. I'm not doing for the greater good. I don't think Natalie would ever talk to me again if I took something like that. So it's got to be tempted by darkness.
all right.
If I take tempted, I discard for the greater good, which gives me a clue. My personal assistant and get my debt. That's it for me.
All right. Laura, you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
What would you like to do this turn?
Well, the only monster on the board is pretty far away, but I'm happy to travel that way. The monster's going to move, though.
Yep. Laura, also keep in mind that the power of the current old one we're going against is to generate monsters. So, hunt down monsters is probably not something you're going to need
Hang
to
on,
worry about.
I realized I never restocked the board. So I'm going to restock 1, but I am going to put a talent out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yes. Oh, that's the other thing you have to know. That after Len ends his turn, about 3 minutes later, he'll remember everything else he has to do and interrupt. And that person going after Len.
And
that
so
is
the
sad.
thing I will point out regarding this monster is if you came and joined me at San Francisco, we'll get to choose if it comes to the 2 of us who can fight or to Trish.
It's going to Trish because Trish is only 3 away now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. I can't count. Oh, I know what I did. I stupid. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. I
4.
can't count. How about I can't count?
Yeah.
Oh, I know why, Rob. Look. No, it's still 4. What the heck? I'll shut up. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
I made that clear for you, right?
Okay, so
all of us are far away.
Let me put it this way: it's been so long since I played, like it's starting to come back, but I'm a little fuzzy. What's the most useful thing I can do?
I'm all on board with you taking a shot at that, or potentially taking. Okay.
Here's the thing: the monster may be dead by the time she goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So things that you might want to do is shop for stuff, although there's not a whole lot of things that are screaming out. Practice isn't
She
bad.
already has practiced.
No, she already has practiced.
Oh no, she does. Actually, that's not true. She doesn't have practice. It's the other one that she's got. She's got composed, which shouldn't be flipped.
Len, are you planning on going to the clue on 19 next turn?
I think it probably makes sense to do that. Unless you don't want me to. I'm happy to not.
So the other thing that we forgot to do is to put this in London. Yeah.
Just
Come
keep
to
it
San
on
Francisco
That's
and
the sense.
take a focus action so that you'll get another reroll. That would be our suggestion. Or go shopping.
Okay, no, I'll come to San Francisco because I'm weirdly like off the coast of Alaska.
Yeah.
On a boat right now. Okay. So my one action is just moving to you.
Go
Yeah.
shopping.
Okay.
There's some nice stuff to buy.
So the other things you could do at this point would be to gain a focus, which can be a reroll and is sometimes used to power effects, such as getting the talents on this. You could get a resource, which gives you a buff to healing or lets you buy more stuff later. You can use it as a success when shopping, or you could go shopping and get, the Scribe's Journal, which wouldn't be a bad thing to have because it stops you from getting hit for clues and stuff, or the Dream Diary, which could help us get more clues out on the board, which is always, or almost always, a good thing.
The fact that you guys are there on the same space, you could trade if
Right.
other better things come out. And...
Okay, so a reroll sounds pretty good since I have a very vested interest in never losing a test ever.
Yep.
So tell me about that. How's that work?
All right. So that would be, we're talking about the focus action, which will let you take one of these yellow focus tokens.
Uh-huh.
You can have up to 2 of them at a time. You get 1 per focus action, and then anytime that you're rolling a die on a test, if you want to, you can you discard it in order to roll 1 die over.
Okay. And I have to choose now what aspect I'm focusing?
No. You're just taking one of these yellow discs up in the top corner here.
Yeah, okay, I see him. Okay.
All right.
And then is that 2 actions I'm done?
That is correct.
Okay.
That means we've all taken our 2 actions, and we move on to the encounter phase. So the way we've been doing this is the player to the right, as we have our characters lined up at the bottom here, is going to read the encounter card for us. So Eric, you're going to read 1 green card from San Francisco.
One American card. Let's see. The Cliff House has been closed down, but you may know a way to commune with ghosts that haunts the famous restaurant and discover the secrets of the dead. You may spend 1 clue. You may spend 1 clue to improve observation and gain 1 talent condition. Well,
That was a fun round.
was a
I
fun
have no
round, Rob.
clues to spend, and thus I am done. All right.
General City for Trish.
General City.
Alrighty. The city fines you for damages caused by your investigation. Test observation -1.
Influence.
Test observation
Influence.
-1, so that's a 3. Influence -1, so that's a 2. I liked it more when it was observation.
Nice. If you pass, the payment brings
Success.
you a lot of goodwill, and the mayor offers to mentor you. Gain a focus and a talent condition. That's awesome.
I'm sensing a
Nice.
theme here.
And I forgot that my focus gave me a +1, but
Well,
that's
now you have
fine.
Another. That really buffs you right off
No,
the
I
bat,
don't.
so now you're in good shape. That's awesome.
That's good. And a talent condition, so I'll do my same 3 rolls and then probably have to roll
The
again.
only time you'll get a bless is when you can't actually draw it.
Yep.
Nope. That's a
Talent.
boon.
That's a
There you go.
talent. Resilient.
All right.
I'll take this down and read it.
So Len,
What am I doing?
Tokyo.
Lola is in Tokyo. So Laura, you're gonna.
Well, before we
Sure.
go to Len, can I read talent? Once per round, when you would lose health, you may test. You may test strength. If you pass, prevent the loss of 2 health and flip
Yeah.
this card. Okay, that's not bad. I got a lot of things that would prevent losing.
All right,
Okay,
so I'm
good.
drawing an Asia card, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And you're gonna bring it right down. Yep, exactly.
All right, so for Tokyo, a museum curator asks you to be his guest. You gain 1 service asset from the deck. You buy a print of the Great Wave. Influence, I think, -1.
Mm-hmm.
If you pass, he reveals its true power. Discard 1 monster of your choice on any space. If you fail, it costs you. Gain a debt condition.
Wow.
That's good about failing. I can't gain another one.
That's
All right, so
right.
can I get the service
Ooh.
first, right? Would that happen first?
Yes, it would. And was that a unique or?
No, just a regular service asset. That does. Glad I buffed up influence. That works out.
Oh, not this again. The button's gone.
Oh no!
You
Oh, is
flipped
that
it.
why? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Aren't you so glad that you had someone else do that to you to save time?
Oh, that how crappy is this? When you gain this card, immediately choose a monster in any space. The chosen monster loses 2 health. Great. This thing, well, whatever. So the Hound of Tindalos has 2 less health, but if I pass this tap, he's getting discarded anyway.
Right.
So it's influence -1. I'm at a 5. I'm going to use my passive to give me another die. So that's 6 dice -1 for 5. Alright, I passed, so the Hound of Tindalos has been discarded.
All right.
It's not how I thought we'd get there, but we got there. Oh my, I'm making a mess. This heart is just taking out the whole board. What
All
the
right.
hell?
I'm
It's a
gonna
heavy heart.
leave you to resolve that. And where is
San Francisco with you.
Let's see
Rob,
if-
you're skipping all across the board.
Yeah, I'm having. My computer's been doing that for a lot of things lately. I don't know what's going on here. All right. While consulting a tarot reader, you see a card depicting a white bear and a red moon. She says it represents great rewards for hard work. You may spend 1 sanity and gain an agreement condition to improve observation and 1 other skill of your choice.
Oh, I love it.
So
That good, but those agreements can really, some agreement conditions are really benign. It's like lose a sanity and then get rid of this card. Other ones are
yep, some of them
horrible.
are like,
So,
oops, somebody's dead.
yeah, other agreements are.
So the question
dies. That's
here is, how risky do you feel?
I'm a rookie cop, and there's nothing we do better than go in balls first. So I'm doing it.
Love it.
All right.
Love it.
So you're
Good
gonna
player right there.
reduce your lose sanity by 1. There you go. And then we are gonna get an agreement. So I'm gonna come on over here. Yep.
I'm discarding the assassination card, by the way.
So how many E's are in agreement? As a reminder, when we get these cards, we can only look at the front. We don't get to see the back until we are told to. So you can go ahead and take that agreement to your play area. And let's take a look at what it says on the front.
Local action. Test influence -1. If you pass, you may spend 2 clues to discard this card. Roll 1 dice on a 1 or a 2. The time has come for you to pay your dues. Flip this card.
So in the Mythos phase, we get these cards. Some of them will have that reckoning symbol, and that will tell you that you got to roll the die and see what happens if you don't have enough clues to have gotten rid of it first. You also get to improve observation and any one skill of your choice. The observation tokens are in little bins over here. So you're going to get to draw 1 green token and then any other skill that you like.
If you plan on fighting monsters, will is pretty useful.
Okay, so I've got 3 will right now. You think 4 would be better? Or strength?
If you're fighting monsters, lore is all. I mean, all skills are essential in this game. So it's really hard to tell. But monsters, whenever you fight a monster, you first have to roll will, and then you have to roll strength. So improving strength or will is very useful for you. Strength is to defeat the monster. Will is to survive encounter monster. So maybe you want to improve strength, because then that would mean that you would get to roll 9 dice, which would take out a lot. So there is an advantage of improving strength, and there is an advantage of improving will. There's an advantage of improving lore and influence as well. So it's really up to you. Rolling dice is impressive, though. That is.
Remember too,
That's
with
impressive.
strength, that +5 is only during combat. If you have to do a strength test in a card, you're only rolling the 3 dice for strength. So there's that too.
Yeah. There is no right answer.
So I'm becoming a little vulnerable
you
on the sanity front, and I presume that having goodwill is associated to regenerating sanity?
Or at least reducing the amount that you take.
Right.
This amount you lose. Regenerating sanity is just from rest. So the will does not help you regenerate sanity, but when fighting a monster, it prevents you from losing more.
I'm gonna lean into stubbornness and get some more will.
So for that, you can actually just mouse over the will token that's already there and hit F to flip it to the +2 side.
Cool.
And now you roll 2 + 2.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, none of our advice is very good in this game. So we are very good at talking like we know what we're doing. We don't. We really don't. So don't.
So
I'm role playing an early 20th century police officer. I'm having fun.
Exactly.
There you go. So that completes the encounter phase. We've all had our encounter cards, and now we move on to the Mythos phase. As the lead investigator, I will reveal and read the first card. Right.
Here's
so the
where
first
it all goes wrong.
The first thing that happens
good
is we
game.
advance the omen track. It moves to a blue symbol. We take a look to see how many gates have that blue symbol, and it's none. So that means nothing bad happens. Next, we got some tentacles coming out of a gate, so that's a monster surge. If there were any blue gates, the monsters would come out of there, but there aren't, which is good. But it does mean that a new gate spawns, which is bad. And it spawns in Sydney, where people were on their way, perhaps. And of course, it spawns with a monster on it, in this case, an Elder Thing. Ah, but the Elder Thing has a little green symbol on it, because nothing in this game is simple. And it says, when this monster is spawned, move it to Antarctica. So the good thing about this is we don't have a monster on that gate. It's unprotected. We can just go there and jump through it and try to get out of it. The bad thing is we have to reduce the number of monsters on the board. And now we've got one sitting out of the way in Antarctica. And we just used up 2 of our Hurt Monsters Anywhere effects. The third symbol is the magnifying glass, which I just pronounced very oddly for some reason. That's going to bring out 2 clues. The first one, flip over, is going to go to space 2. If somebody wants to drag it over to the other side of the board. And the second one is going to go to space 9. So another clue way up here, nowhere helpful at a cul-de-sac. 2, that's not that bad. It's on our way to going to Tokyo or something. Heart of Corruption. You compared the picture in the magazine to the drawing on the old tattered map. It was definitely a match, but what could be so valuable that it required so much secrecy? And why was that particular point on the map marked with blood? Event. The lead investigator gains 1 artifact and then rolls 1 die. On a 1 or 2, he loses 2 health and 2 sanity. Well, okay. So I get an artifact because I am the lead investigator. And I get, be interesting, the Black Fan.
Ooh.
Gain +2 influence, +2 will. You may add 2 successes to your test result when performing an acquire assets action.
Oh my.
I think that that's worth, what happens to me? 2 health and 2 sanity?
You roll a die.
Maybe nothing.
Maybe nothing. You have to roll a die.
I'll tell you what, Rob, if you die, I'm going to be the first one dancing on your grave to get that Black Fan. I'll just let you know that now.
Oh!
They're not letting you grab the dice?
Rob, you and Laura are in the
Your
same
dice
city.
are locked,
You
Rob.
can
I
trade
can't
with
grab them either.
What? Why would my dice be locked?
I'm not sure.
Alright.
Yeah,
So I need to not roll a 1 or 2.
Yep.
Alright. I rolled a 3.
Rolled a 3.
I
Good
got
enough.
a Black Fan.
I unlocked them now.
Yeah, and you and Laura are in the same city, so you could give her that.
I mean, I could.
I could. In theory.
I don't.
Yeah, just mention it. You know?
I mean, I'm fond of you, but I don't know if I like you that much.
I see how it is.
I don't get stuff in this game. I want to keep it.
The handyman wants to keep the fan. Okay. Okay.
It's a
It looks very pretty
fan.
on
And
you.
a fan.
All right, we survived our first turn.
Hey-o.
Who wants to be the next lead investigator?
I'll take it. Just go down the line until we have a
Alright.
reason to change it. Alright, so my turn is simple. I use my power to generate a clue. And then I move on to this space. Like I said, I would love to spend the next 7 rounds just sitting in that city buffing up, but
All right.
it's time to move on.
So we've got a little issue for me. My plan was to go up and get that clue, but we have that red gate staring us in the face. So I'm thinking I should deal with that.
Yep.
Can you get there?
Yeah, I can prepare and go.
Prepare for travel and jump down there.
Right. So I'm gonna take my.
Oh, to Sydney.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my why can I use words? Investigator action. And I'm gonna swap out this influence. I'm gonna do observation if I'm going towards a gate. Get a free action for that, which will be prepare for travel. I'll take a boat ticket, and then I will spend the boat. I'll move and then spend the boat ticket down. Sydney.
All right. Tommy, what do you think?
Me already?
Wow.
Okay.
It goes fast.
Hey, look, it's happening again, Laura. It's so true. My tempted by darkness, I'm not used to having this. At the end of the Mythos phase, I can spend 2 health and 2 sanity to flip this card. If I don't gain an Eldritch token, I'm going to gain an Eldritch token. And then does it say then flip this card?
No.
It just doesn't. Okay,
No,
yeah.
you do them in the other order.
Yeah, the idea with those is generally you want to build up the Eldritch tokens, although this one makes me feel uncomfortable for some reason. It's called Tempted by Darkness.
I've never done
feel
one
like
of these.
I feel like it's going to be too accurate.
That let you flirt with potential evil and badness, but maybe it'll be good, right? I love that.
We got some folks joining us in the stream. Droop Dog, Ortholexi, nice to see you. Rihanna, always good to see you. Let us know. Do you think we should go embrace the darkness or resist a little while? Curious if folks, whether you've played the game or not, have an opinion on that, and if that changes things. All right, but it is.
Or you can just discuss politics to bump our algorithm.
anything to get you guys chatting. I want my next what are they called? My next achievement. All right.
Yeah.
So Laura, it is in fact your turn.
Okay. I want to murder something, but I don't think I can.
You can. I mean, you can't this turn, but you can head down to. No. You can take on an elder
there's
thing.
Wilson Richards in your space. You could completely murder him and steal his precious fan.
I'm not.
I'm
not that interested in the fan. I'm an officer of the law. I don't murder and steal yet.
Yet.
Well, you could go out to sea and gain a clue.
Okay.
That's one option. And you need clues, so
I do. I need to meet my agreement.
You could.
That's true.
Yeah. So you have that. You could try to get rid of your agreement, which.
I'm too clueless. Yeah.
Yeah, you need 2 clues. So you can. I would go get the clue.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, those agreements.
Before you actually commit to that action, though, there are very few things that you can do once on that water space.
Okay.
So if you're interested in acquiring assets first, you might want to do that while you're in the city. But if you're just gonna get another focus or a resource, you can do that once you're out at sea.
Oh yeah, there's some really nice cheap assets.
Okay, well let's talk about the assets then. How about practiced? What's that about? Once per round, you may roll 1 additional die and re-roll up to 1 die when resolving a test.
So, is that the one?
Yeah. So
you actually? Oh no, you have composed. Okay.
Yeah, so this is very useful. Basically, once per round when you have a difficult test, it's saying you can add a additional die to that test, so making it easier to pass, and you can even re-roll one. However, if you ever fail something, then you gotta flip this card and pay a price. The price usually isn't that high on these, but you do have to pay a price. Usually it's like lose some sanity or discard this card. So that's really good, but you would have to focus before doing that.
She has a focus.
Because to get that, you would need to spend... Oh, she has a focus. Okay, so that would be very useful to get. That's a very useful talent. The Dream Die, gain +1 on lore during otherworldly encounter. Not that great, but when you perform a rest, you spawn a clue. Again, we need clues, so that is really useful. The Scribe's Journal, you cannot... effects that cause you to discard clues or spells cannot. So basically, if anything says you lose clues or spells, you can use this to prevent that. That's useful to maintain. I don't know if there's that many things that cause loss of clue in the game. And the Ally, roll 1 additional die when resolving a lore test and a spell. You don't have spells, that's not going to be useful right now to you, and you're not really a spell caster, so that last one is probably the least interesting to you. Spells are also mean in this game. They're mean. They're not useful. It's like dealing with dark arts is bad in some way. I don't get it.
All right. Well, the Dream Diary is kind of nice because I will presumably need to at some point spend some time healing, and if I can get clues while I do that, that's pretty cool. So how do I get that?
All right.
I want that.
So you're going to take the acquire asset action. Take a look. You're going to roll your influence.
Which is 3.
That's right. So you're going to roll 3 dice. And on a 5 or 6, which are marked with the elder signs there, that will count as a success. Each success you get to buy 1 point worth of things from the row. So you might be
now,
able
do
to
I
buy
have
more than
any
1 thing.
other bonuses that apply to this?
Not at the moment. You do get a re-roll with the focus if you really want it, although you may not want to spend it on that. And after you roll the dice, you do have the opportunity of going into debt to get 2 extra successes.
Wait, there's one more thing. Before you roll, as a separate action, if you plan on just sitting in the city, you can acquire a resource, and a resource counts as an automatic success on these actions. So you could acquire a resource, and then rolling the dice would not matter. But then you wouldn't be able to move this turn.
Right. And I'll move, but then I'll be out at sea, which will suck, because then I don't get an encounter. Well, whatever. It's fine. I'm going to roll.
Right.
So are you gonna get? You're just gonna roll. You're not gonna get the resource.
So you can go ahead and highlight those to the NAR. Ooh. Yeah, I think you might actually
have hit the R a couple
maybe?
times. You can't.
Because those.
Yeah, that was not an R. That was also not a roll.
All right, now that was a roll. You got
highlight I R D about 5 times in rapid succession.
There you go.
Oh, that's how it works. That's how it's done.
That's how it works.
All right.
That's much better. You do that when you actually roll the dice.
You have 3 points to spend. All of these things cost 1. The practice costs 1 plus that focus. You could also, for some reason, if you wanted to, you could take a debt that would give you an extra 2 successes, but
I don't want the arcane assistant in my sidecar.
Right.
So I guess I just take the 3 things then, because there's no reason to hold on to.
Sure.
Right? Or is there a reason to hold on to stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you
yeah,
can't
then I want it all.
All right. So spend
this focus.
So you can put the focus right in our trash bag.
That's my yellow thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now, you have another choice to make. Do you want to put talent conditions in, or just regular resources.
I don't know. What do you guys want?
I think
Maybe
that
one talent.
yeah, one talent.
One talent, and then
Okay,
and
I
then
like that.
regular
Let's do that.
for the other two.
All right. So, Len, are you willing to help out on that, and we will
Sure.
move on
Yep.
to my turn?
Wait, I don't get to. I don't
Oh,
just
you
go
get
anywhere?
to move. You get to move.
Okay. Yeah, I was really excited about that clue because I'm clueless. And then I just take that clue?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Nope, you have to
Oh, I
have
have to have an encounter.
have
Okay,
it.
never mind. So I just sit there.
that,
Okay.
that will get you the clue.
Okay, cool.
Oh, it was a good asset. That talent that came out would be great for you, Tommy.
Please don't call me Tommy.
You said you were role playing.
Well, okay, fine. Fine. Yep, that's me. I'm Tommy. I want to be headstrong. In fact, it even features a police officer. It's perfect.
There you go. There you go. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do to contribute to this stuff. I guess I might head over to this gate or start working my way there. I don't know if anyone has better ideas.
My only thing with that game, we're not going to get it this round, right? So it's going to go off. We're going to have time to get there.
So my
we
real
get the expedition too.
my real worry is getting it before a surge happens. But so I'll hit
Yeah.
the. We can't just leave it forever.
No, right. but
There's
we're not
nothing
gonna
else
get a
shouting.
surge. We're not going to get a surge for at least 3 more Mythos Phase.
Right, but so with the lack of anything better to do,
Right,
going over,
right.
doing an expedition encounter, getting there. I particularly want to be in.
Well, getting spells isn't the worst thing.
Yeah. Well, unless they're those glamour spells.
Can't let the glamour spells.
All right.
Well, there is arcane art.
So I took 2 actions to do that. I just didn't bother getting the ticket and spending it before doing the move action to get me into Arkham. That brings us back to our lead investigator and the encounter phase.
Research encounter, please.
Ah, yes, indeed. You are in the wilderness too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Inside this Roman temple, a strange item sits on the dust-covered altar. Gain a weapon artifact. Oh my god. Nice. Which you're gonna need in a moment, so you might want to grab it now, or somebody grab it for him.
Okay. So we use this die. We right click.
Nope. You use the
Black
black
one.
die
Black one.
because the red one will find all of the weapon artifacts.
Ah. Okay. That would not be good. Weapon. Let's see if I can spell that correctly. Put it
Nope, the
on
red
top
one all the
of
way
this deck.
up the top.
No.
Keep going, one more. That
Mhm.
one.
This deck. And then we hit the button,
I hope you get the lightning gun. Get the lightning
and then
gun.
it's off.
Lightning gun!
Hold it.
Lightning. Nice. Woof.
So you might be alright for what's coming next.
Okay.
A dark young monster ambushes you.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oh. Oh my! And it's if you defeat it, you have a chance to explore the temple and gain this clue. Good thing you got that lightning gun. I don't even know if you can't even defeat him. Dark youngs are hard.
Wow.
Okay. So first is my will check.
Yeah.
Let's go through this one at a time. I have a will of 3. I have 2 focuses, which gives me +2. So that makes it up to 5. I don't think anything's going to give me more than 5.
All right.
No, that's about it. Okay, so I get 5 dice. This is the
5 dice
part that's
minus
going
1.
to hurt. 5 dice minus 1. 4 dice. Okay.
did not hurt at all.
Nice. Oh my god, that went well. Okay, now. Strength. I have a lightning gun. That gives me 6 plus 3 is 9. I don't have anything that buffs me up more than 9. So I have 9 dice to roll.
-3.
Wow. -3. So that would be 6 dice
Right.
total.
Now, yep, go ahead. So you need 3 successes
Okay.
to not take any damage. You need 5 successes to defeat it and get the clue.
May the odds be
That's not
forever
gonna
in your
happen.
favor. Or ever in your favor. Whatever that quote is. Oh my.
Oof. 1 success. Now. Okay. So I may re-roll 1 die when resolving strength test. Because I'm rugged. I'll re-roll 1 die. That did not help. Okay. Once around, when you would lose health, you may test strength. If you pass, prevent the
Before
loss
you
of
do
up
that,
to
do
2.
you want to focus? You get it back.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll use my focus to re-roll a die.
Oh,
That's not helpful. Okay. Once per round, when I would lose health, I may test strength. My strength is a 3.
+2 for
Plus
5.
breaking the limits.
5. I pass. So I prevent the loss of health. I then have to flip this card. And I accidentally flipped the dice.
No.
I hope that doesn't matter because I... Okay. If my success more than other, you're still alive, but know that you might not survive next time. Lose 1 sanity unless you discard this card. Okay. I'll take the sanity hit. It's useful to have here. And not great, but fine. I didn't defeat it, so I don't get the clue.
It's always next turn.
That's a hard
Yep.
situation right there.
Yeah.
Those Dark Youngs, man, I didn't realize that was so tough.
But it was very tough.
All right.
I get a gate encounter.
All right.
World encounter.
So, Laura, you're gonna read on one of these funky otherworld encounters over at the top left, and you're gonna start just by reading the top section.
All right. A hooded figure invites you to sit. His pen is poised to write, and he looks to you expectantly, waiting for you to tell him a story. You may spend 1 clue to resolve the pass effect. If you do not spend the clue, resolve the fail effect.
Well, I don't think spending the clue is a good thing, so I will not spend the clue.
Do you have a clue?
I do.
Okay.
So you're denying this poor hooded figure a story.
Hell yeah.
All right. So the figure invents a story about your failure. You lose 2 sanity. At the conclusion of the tale, he inscribes a phrase in an alien language, lore symbol. If you pass, you interpret the words and speak them aloud to mend the Terran reality and close this gate.
Okay, so it's lore. I'm gonna use my passive to get a +1. So 3 dice. Need a success badly, please. Woo, got it. Close the gates.
All right. So you got anything else or just the clothes?
Just the glory
Just
of
the
closing the gate.
Did you?
Yes, I-
2
And you
seconds.
lost the
Oh
sanity?
no, I took strength. Oh no, yeah, I did.
Okay. I would have gone and passed, but all right.
All right. No.
Me.
No,
Where are you?
Tommy.
Right. Okay.
It's you, Rob.
Tommy.
Where? Okay. So,
So,
And
Tommy.
research counter at C. Research counter.
you thought you saw someone or something floating in the water. Test observation -1.
Okay, I've got 3 observations, so let's see what happens. That
Alright.
went poorly.
So we didn't point out that you had the option with practiced to roll 1 additional die.
Yeah, you should roll that
Okay.
die.
She's not gonna have another test.
Right.
There's a lot to keep track of in this game.
All right. So you got a lot of failures, but you're also composed. When resolving a test, if you do not roll any 1s, you may re-roll all of your dice. I don't think I see any 1s.
No runs, so you may re-roll 4 dice.
There it is.
All right.
There you go.
All right, now what?
Okay. If you pass, you find the drowned corpse of Amigo that was carrying a satchel full of documents. Gain this clue. So
Okay.
you get to take the clue that you're sitting on, put it on your board, and feel like you've accomplished something.
Actually, for Tommy, failing that clue would also be useful too, because then you'd get to attack. He'd get to attack a monster. But
Yeah.
gaming included too.
All right, and then I need an Arkham card.
You need an Arkham card. All right. Let's see what the Arkham card says. Shopkeeper General Store offers to sell you old paper from Silver Twilight Lodge. Test
All right,
influence.
so my influence is a 3, but with the black fan, I get +2. Ooh. Wow.
That
Yeah.
was not good. You have no rerolls?
Nope.
Alright. If you fail, gain a big
Why? Why?
Because this game is horrible, Rob. This is everything after the first turn is just downhill.
Extra vacation
It's-
time in San Francisco.
Banes are horrible. Banes are absolutely the
Oh, you didn't
worst.
get cursed though.
Am I doing the wrong?
Oh yeah, you. Well, you picked Bane. No, it's not a deal. It's this. It's this,
This one. Corruption.
Oh, you're corrupted again.
Uh,
Oh,
okay. This is fine. This is fine.
oh, these hurt.
This
No, they're
it's
not. These are the
all
ones that hurt the
fine.
fellow
Whatever.
players.
Right.
It's all whatever.
All right, Tommy, you have to kill Rob for the now. That's that.
All
Okay,
right.
if you have a forked tongue, it's fine.
All right, Laura, go back. Go back. Find Rob's character and kill him. That's what
all
we're
right.
doing.
That's harsh.
You say out, but wait till you see what those veins do. Corruptions do.
Eric, read
They
us
are nasty.
a Mythos card.
All right. It can't be worse than what we've gotten so far. I can't pick things up in this game. All right.
A rumor.
So,
All right, so we
You have a rumor.
spawned 2 clues. First clue is gonna go in Buenos Aires. The second clue is gonna go in the Himalayas.
now, so I don't understand the rest of the symbols. It says Istanbul, so that means this rumor is taking place in Istanbul, and it means there's 3 Eldritch
That's right.
tokens in it. So now I've got to read what it is. Doctors have no explanation for the virulent disease, but you know that on occasion a reckless wizard will invoke Haliskia to serve his dark purposes. The contagion ongoing. As an encounter, investigators on Istanbul may attempt to stop the spreading of the illness at source with observation. If the investigator passes, he may spend clues equal to half of investigators to solve this rumor.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Lost
So we
Eric.
just lost Eric. So I will keep reading. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, each investigator loses 3 health, then solve this rumor. On a reckoning, the lead investigator gains 1 illness condition, then discards 1 Eldritch token from this card for each illness condition he has. So I'm going to take this card and put it over here by Istanbul. And then I'm
Sucks.
going to put these on it. And the reason this particularly sucks is everything is costing us clues right now.
Well,
I didn't mean to do it that way. I'm going to try it one more time. Put that here. We're going to
Laura,
put
is
this
that thing
here.
that you have, is it when you rest you gain a... Oh, you spawn a clue when you rest.
And the difference is it comes out of the board, or out of the car bag, goes on the board, and we have to get there and take the action to do it. All right. So that was bad, but it didn't do anything immediately. And Eric says his computer just crashed. So I'm wondering, despite the fact that we haven't gone particularly far into this mess, maybe 2 turns in might be the right place to call it for tonight. What do you guys think?
I'm fine either way.
Same.
I'm going to quickly ask if we should, Eric, what if he thinks that we should call it here or wait for him. And let's see. So, you know, I love that Tabletop Simulator exists. I love that I get to play with my distant friends when we can't play in person. It was so... Man, did it get me through that first 7 months of quarantine.
Yeah.
I think we actually ended up playing a whole lot more than we ever did in person those months. But the downside is stuff like this happens. And while I'm waiting for an answer from Eric, I'm curious if anyone in the chat have you played stuff on tabletop? Are you just watching along for the first time? Let us know as I try to stall desperately, because this is the part of the thing I'm not very good at.
I'd also be interested from the people in chat what games they've played on Tabletop Simulator, and
Yes.
it's because it's been a while now for us to know, like, are there any new good mods out there for good games? Kind of been off the scene for 6 months or so.
That's true. I remember, pouring through Discord groups, browsing the new mods list very regularly.
As you say that now, I'm on there now trying to see, because I realize it's been months since I've looked.
It's funny to me because mine is set to. It shows it to me in the order of either when I got the mod or when it's last been updated.
Oh.
And
I didn't know you could do
so
that.
I didn't know you couldn't for the longest time. And this is now the first game in my list, so or the last. It's all the way at the back as the mod that I've had either the longest or the least updates to it since I got it.
Huh.
All right. All right. Well, I'm feeling that this is a little anticlimactic, but I think that the best thing to do will be for us to wrap it up here.
Sounds like things are just starting to get worse, both in the game and from a computing standpoint.
Right. So, it's been a while. Laura, what do you think of returning to Eldritch Horror? I know that, basically you only got to do 2 things because it can be a slow game, especially online.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I think I didn't play this global one before. I think it was more concentrated, not the whole Earth.
Did we play
Arkham,
the 3rd edition? That makes more sense.
Yeah, because I've actually never played this game before. But I remember Tommy is the character in the other one, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they're all part of what they call the Arkham Files setting. As certain people might complain, you get to see a lot of the same characters and the same artwork from game to game to game. Not that anyone here would complain about something like that. Yeah, I like this one. I like sort of the pulp feel to it, the global aspect of it. Although the Eldritch game or the Arkham Horror game is also really cool because it is very narrative, and you get it's a real different feel. So I'm glad you got the chance to try this out, and if you're free again next week, you're more than welcome to check back and see what happens next.
We need you, Tommy. We need you.
Because nobody else wants to play them.
It's been fun. It's all good.
Well, I'll just note how in 2 turns she's done more than Mikey's done in like 3 play sessions. So I'll say that much.
All right.
Poor Mikey.
As always, I want to thank my friends for coming and playing the game with me tonight. I always enjoy this. I want to thank all of you in out here who are watching us through this. We also keep some videos of past games up on YouTube at The Games and Us as well. We'll be back next week to see if this is actually the start of something disastrous, or if somehow we're able to find our way out of this mess. So maybe you'll get to watch us defeat the Shub-Niggurath, or perhaps you'll come back and get to watch us lose. Thank you all for coming. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks, Rob.